With Stella 3.6, we've enhanced the way that you can work with data in published models. I'm going to start with an array here where we have country. It's a label with name, country 1, currently called China. In grain, label with name. Grain 1 is rice, grain 2 is other. So we have these set up. And then I have some data that I might want to import. Now the first entry file here actually uses the names the labels of the array elements. So country would be called France and Germany, grain would be called wheat and other. The second file has some constants in it, the net birth rate, the initial population, and base per capita grain consumption for country 1 and country 2 and the two types of grains. Notice that we're using here country 1 and grain 1 and 2, although and that's because when we do the import of the data, we need to use the names of the array elements, not the labels that would be displayed. And then finally, there's something here with year, and then it has some time-varying data for observed grain consumption. And I'm using the :R format to indicate that I want this data to be interpreted as raw data. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the interface, and on the interface, I have a simple interface already constructed here. I go to something like Load Europe. It has Stop Stella Alive, Restore All Devices. I want to add a couple more actions here. These will be import actions. So I'm going to ask to import data from a file. I will browse from the location at which to get the data, and in this case it will be Europe constants. I'm going to add another import action. Again, from a file, I will browse, I will ask for labels, and another import action. From a file, I'm going to browse, and I'm going to ask for observed. And I just check, make sure I've got the order right. I moved Restore All Devices, needs to go back up towards the top. So I want Restore All Devices, Stop Stella Alive should be first, then Restore All Devices. Then I'm going to do my 3 imports, and then I'm going to start Stella Alive. Now these 3 imports are exactly the same command. When you import them, Stella determines the type of file based upon its content. It can distinguish between constants, time-varying data, and labels for the array elements. So that's what it says in Load Data now, and I can try this on the desktop. Load Europe, it loaded in some values, it went in Stella Alive. We can do what we need to kind of make it look like the values. We can go for France or Germany, wheat or other, and we could load Asia, and Asia will have China and Japan, and rice and other. So this is how we would set up the interface, and now we can go ahead and publish it. So publishing goes in the same way that publishing OS go. We go to File, Publish. I'm already logged in, so I can simply hit the Update button, and now I have this interface. I load Asia. There's Asia, behaves the same as it did on the desktop, and now we have the ability to load data. In addition to loading from an existing file, of course, you can query the user for a file, and again, when that happens, it can be in any of these formats that the data can be loaded, so that you can set time-varying values, constants, or array label names using the import data feature.